Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. We apologize for the slight delay in terms of the time we'll be done notifying now. We come right back with Tina, and please feel free for share. Well, I do the same for notify others, and then we go land into it today topic. We'll get a few things and for discuss. Of course, the one way go involve the different political party views them. We get a representative from the Sierra Leone People's Party, get a representative from the All People's Congress, and so in a stay put and enjoy the ride. We'll go into the detail a little bit later. And I welcome once again to Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. Will they come right back?
Man, I must have been make drums so now they get to walk about all and they find body. The kind where self man, they hand no see them say lots. See you walk out with the strike right away. Money they know I'm paid.
Make I recognize some of you now. Then we go from there.
Then they do so. He don't tell where they want bluff. Money
welcome, Madam Rama Koma. Welcome, Madam.
From what I know, the government purchased 30 brand new
SUVs.
Okay,
welcome.
No. Those vehicles were not brand new SUVs.
Mr. Al Bangura, welcome.
Only for SUVs.
Madam Salima Vincent, welcome. Mr. Ibrahim Mansari, welcome. Madam Hawa Mans, welcome. Mr. Eats Khan, welcome. Mr. Al-Mami Undu, welcome. Madam A. Sise, A.B. Sise, welcome. Mr. Dowson, Koma, welcome. Madam Livy Graywood, welcome. Madam Abiba Tujalo, welcome. Madam Juliet T, welcome, Madam. Mr. Y. Conte, welcome. And I welcome once again. Now I take this opportunity for bringing with panelists them. And I thank you so much for the patience. Now I bring Mr. Adam. Kindly introduce yourself, then Mr. Musa as well. Now welcome once again.
Hi, Adija. Thanks for having me. This Adam from the UK.
Welcome once again, sir. Welcome. Mr. Musa V, welcome, sir. Kindly introduce yourself, please.
My name is Musa V, and I'm one of the panelists for this tonight. Yeah.
Welcome, Mr. Musa. So, Mr. Musa, they represent the Sierra Leone People's Party, and Mr. Adams go represent, or I go say speak on behalf of the All People's Congress. Also they try to get the spokesman for the then government for join we, with the hope that he will join we later. DJ Foss also was invited, but he's not here with us. Mr. Koso Darami as well. I do not know his political party where he belong, but there are critical things then where instead supposed for come and join voice with we for talk on. But with that said, we need a delay the 2-way day. Critically important that we start for now without delay, given the obvious of the time zone and with difference in time. And I thank you so much for your patience. Thank you once again, the panelists, for taking time out of your busy schedule, family time, for making possible. Mr. Musa V, thank you so much for your last minute invite, and you honored the invitation. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Musavi, now I was saying, I one of we trouble some brother. We can cause trouble that the forum. But I be always promise and say get for comment instead of get chance for they express himself freely. So now we remember waiting bind we together, which now the green, white, and blue. Now we try for maintain friendly, peaceful debate. We do not have to agree on everything, but now remember, say we country suppress any political party. We can agree to disagree in a peaceful manner. This platform belongs to every Sierra Leonean, irrespective of your political affiliation. We do not have to get a point across by cursing or use or lack for better term, use profanity for now we get to a point across, or for be in a aggressive or angry manner. We can still get to point them across, whether you happen to be in the chat room or with panelists. They know just respect to self, please, as we communicate and try for reach to a common ground. So the very first thing we have been wanting we Mr. V. I don't know if now you microphone it cause a lot of noise. Now your microphone I don't know if okay the earphone. Yeah. Because if you message and I will go through and I sure say you want a message and go through. So check
power off.
You good, sir?
Yeah, you did hear me?
Yeah, well, you know, just the backlash. But Mr. Unique Limbaman, welcome, sir. Welcome. Mr. Nabi Jallo, welcome. Welcome, sir. Yeah, well, you. So we'll manage them. If there's any issue there, we'll go from there. Before we go into the nitty-gritty of the white paper, this is now part 3. Like we've been promising we go they try forget certain section or specific areas of this white paper, then we put onto the table for discussion. The very first one way I wanna we discuss audio circulating. The noise still they go loud. So Mr. V, I think you got for use a different method of communication. I don't know if it's possible for you do without the earpiece because it cause a lot of back noise. Yeah. Yeah. If you remove and see if you go able for your yeah. If not, then we'll see how we'll manage them. You there with now?
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I want a message go across and then also we not get interrupted. Okay, so the very first one where I want to start with, like I said before we go to the white paper, now many of we go don't come across this audio where some they say Mr. Emerson Bokari in come back again and debunk the statements of Sierra Leoneans, and again like the flyers say whether not Mr. Emerson now, whether not to in now, will they present them to Sierra Leoneans them and they would critically analyze that audio then. It's rather unfortunate. I go encourage whoever that Sierra Leonean is for that it come out and disclose itself. But again, when we look if it is in the case of security reason, so be it. Because I look and say there's critical information the way it puts there, where it be say it will be beneficial for we all as Sierra Leonean, for stimulate we mind, for kind of like get the attention of we sitting government or future, and the list goes on. So having said that, I want to play that audio day, and then from there I bring unto the panelists them for them and tell me what in them think. And in ourselves within the chat room, and I'm more than welcome for also engage by the discussion through the chat room, and then eventually too once we panelists they don't get enough time for express themselves, I go open the line for in ourselves get time because in ourselves your voice equally important now. So then ourselves go call in, and if you not get any challenging question or concern or contribution to the topic, you're more than welcome to do so. And I welcome once again, and that's right for bring this audio to you now.
Power on. Connection successful.
Okay. So now we see.
I don't listen to various voice. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't listen to various voice notes them, and as you can see, it's high time for me back step in like give me a contribution. listen to the outcome of the out paper, of the white paper rather, though they may be for read them yet. But I think say we all able for get some preview of what's in the inside, the content with the inside. Now, not only one country we get. I say I didn't left saloon, then I go ever ask if you not maintain that in the local server. Then we just ask you, Sierra Leone. We not be against, I continue for emphasize on this. We not be against, we not be against this commission of inquiry. It's a necessary tool. The only thing there has to be procedures.
So I want to go categorically so that we not safe no go lost in a thought as they go. So the first thing we say is that one, whoever that individual is, which we do not care at this point. Some they say now Mr. Bokari say not to in, so it's beyond the point. It's beyond the point right now. It no matter at this moment. We just want, like I say, analyze this audio. So the first thing we say is that they against the this inquiry. That's one. Then secondly, say the first concern was the procedure followed. So I wonder we now bring me panelists them. Do you guys agree with that statement so far in terms of being against or for the commission of inquiry, and then followed by in concern, which are the first concern where it presents, where it say the procedure. So I want to bring Mr. Musa V first. What are your take on that so far? Now we start with you. Welcome.
Okay, first of all, before I answer that question, I would want to say whenever somebody come out publicly and tell people and say this audio way they go on, not to me voice. There is no way we for say that in voice, except otherwise, even if in a court, they therefore bring a specialist where we will analyze those things because the system, the system of the internet presently, people they use a lot of voice which they call for make it look like your voice. So I don't want to tell people then say you don't go ever say now the man do except a specialist will analyze the voice and say this man ain't do that. That's not the first thing. The second thing, becoming not ever listen the audio except otherwise on this panel. But to be honest, according to the way how the person they talk, I mean, I not to say it look like it really they try for bring up something because again a doubt presently if you look at the way they talk, either they're against or either they're against, either in favor of the white paper or not. I'm not able to say much about it right now because I'm not
Okay,
listening.
so I come back again and present the what I bring to the table. Make a kind of address some of your concern. You say that when somebody don't come say this not to me, nobody not for force them. I equally agree. We are not here to say whether it's Mr. Bokari or not Mr. Bokari. I make it clear say at this juncture it's irrelevant. What would they do is that just like I can bring audios of Sierra Leoneans around the world where I don't necessarily know, but I can bring them audio then they and bring and say no we critically analyze them. You understand? So at this juncture, whether it's Mr. Bokari or not, that is irrelevant. The first question where I present to the table was again, I'm going to give you the opportunity again if you want to respond to it. If not, again, because I want to be fair for both of you with both of you. The first question where I asked that this individual, whoever this individual is, the first statement we make was in day 4 the commission of inquiry. It believes it necessary. So the question we follow that statement was, I want to tell me if in a day for the commission of inquiry or in a day against the commission of inquiry. The second one, where it say it get concerned about now the procedure we then follow for bring about this commission of inquiry. So I give you the opportunity again back, Mr. Musa, with those two questions what I present to you, within a your take. before I bring Mr. Adams in. Welcome back, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for giving me another opportunity.
It's quite okay.
According to what you say, and according to you saying, I saw the audio say, I believe say the it say a day in favor because I believe say every Sierra Leonean is in favor. A good Sierra Leonean we want to see Sierra Leone go before this time around. After so many years of corruption, we country don't become so poor. And His Excellency retired Brigadier Julius Madagio come up with this thing where nobody not ever come up with and say let me try for fight corruption. And in a way to fight corruption, we need to come with the people who commit the corruption to the nation, and we will be able to investigate them. If they are guilty, then definitely we will take the right channel to able retrieve the money we Sierra Leone people then due. So in that case, the second one we ask people if people then also agree to the to the white paper. I believe say the person we do the audio they try to get the consent of the people. If the people really accept to it, then the second question is say, you know, like the way how the procedure they go on. And I believe say this procedure na a fair play. This uh, not so like people they try for say, is this really a witch hunt? Is it about when they try for witch hunt the opposition? No. The question here is no. Because first of all, there are people who still they work now. The present government will be doing the work now. Former government under His Excellency announced by Kruma will be said they still they under inquiries. You know, so when you talk about even the like the ban the His Excellency, not only the VP and 11 others, they were also the former vice president and 11 others. They were also banned. So this is not like a witch hunt. This is like this time around we need to stop what has been responsible for the nation in downfall. That is all what His Excellency is fighting.
Thank you, sir. So I want to you bring you camera down a little so that way you know we'll get caught up, okay? So from what I gather from you, even though you know go direct to for answer the question, one is that based on the statements where the gentleman say he's for the commission of inquiry for make clarity to the audience is that you are for the commission of inquiry, correct? And when it comes to the procedure where the man gets concerned about, you on the other hand don't get any concern about the procedure, correct?
Definitely, to be honest enough, I love the way how the procedure they go. The procedure they go genuinely, and I believe saying a fair play.
All right. Thank you, sir. So I want to acknowledge Mr. Team MIB. You say, Madam, why this guy? This platform is made for every Sierra Leonean and anybody who want to take the opportunity on themselves for saying it and come in and join voice with other Sierra Leoneans. I will give them the opportunity to do so as long as they utilize this platform in a very peaceful and respectful manner because we go here now for promoting national cohesion. So I do not care who anybody go thinks they are on the quote unquote controversial. I am not here to judge Sierra Leonean, but rather to be that ambassador, if for lack of better term, for see how we go able to get healthy debate, healthy dialogue for now we bring about a better mama salon, so long it is done in an honest fashion, so long as it is not done when we see things that is black and white, so they call and say na green and blue. Then I will come in and make sure say I challenge you on behalf of the voiceless, on behalf of Sierra Leoneans, we mean good for Sierra Leone. So with that said, I hope I don't make it clear. So if you have any problem, any Sierra Leonean have problem with other Sierra Leoneans, my own goal here, as in a humble servant, serving, on behalf of inner Sierra Leoneans. Now, for see that we build national cohesion by any means necessary. So some go get and say, hey, Khadija, they get no. If anybody can answer in an aggressive manner, or would they try for ask you a specific question, you they try for beat around, then of course I go challenge you. During that process, some other people then will get their own different way of for interpret things. So I hope say I don't answer your question. Now we know say this platform belongs to we all, yeah. And I thank you again for that question. All right, thank you, Mr. MV. Now get, I think say you don't make yourself clear. You don't done right. Now bring up Mr. Adams now, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Mr. Adams, thank you for your patience, sir. I shall say you don't get already both of the questions that I present to the table. I don't know if you wanna repeat them. I'll check your device, sir. When they hear you. Thank you.
Please, you can just repeat something.
Yes. So the gentleman will listen to because they take systematic like little by little so that way I'm not gonna miss anything. The very first part is that in like the fact that we they go through this process of the commission of inquiry. The only concern where it gets is that the procedure that was followed. So waiting that you take, do you agree that the commission of inquiry is necessary? And then also, do you agree with him in statement, or do you disagree with him in terms of the procedure? Come on in, sir.
So basically, the truth of the matter is, the commission of inquiry, anything that has to do with accountability, as a peaceful and a well-meaning citizen of any country, anything that has to do with accountability should be welcomed by everybody, because I mean it is only fair that when people don't be in office for a certain period of time, they be made to account. That is a fair there. But when the whole process itself begins with a political undertone, with which the commission itself emanated, mind you, from the GTT report, where the government commissioned shortly after when the SPP government came to power. Inside that GTT report, there, it was some sort of a quick audit trail for no waiting happen, waiting not happen. But when the report came out, the report was so personalized to a point that it appears to be some sort of a political document rather than a national document. And then you realize that this whole thing, we were heading for some sort of a grandstanding. Now, the GTT report, where the government set up, what have been some of the findings? Some of the accusations what they made in there against the previous government were so outrageous that you will not straight away say, in the future, and then they refer to the GTT before the COI, that if the commission of inquiry were to be set up, it appears that for say they already don't find them guilty, even without people to trial. They were called criminals. They were asked. In fact, they even say that the previous government run Sierra Leone as a cartel, some form of criminal racketeering. All of those names they don't give them. So then you come to the commissions of inquiry, where they said, I mean, it's a constitutional instrument, so it is definitely a legal document. And then they get instruments number 64, 65, and 67. 3 sets of commissioners, they empaneled them. And during the process, so many objections were raised. And one of which was the section 150 of the Sierra Leone Constitution, where it talks about the rules of court committee, that the chief justice supposed for empaneled people will go look at some sort of a guiding norm as to how the commission should be operated. That was never set up on the grounds that when the previous APC government, when they said we take over between 2007 and 2008, they set up a commission of inquiry for looking into the Sababu project during the Alpha Rui tenure and Ministry of Education. That there were no rules of court committee. But again, there you will ask, the previous people there, where this commission of inquiry then under Anis Kurman was set up, Then not be raise their objections them today. Because if they have, they before don't go in a court and go try to ensure say they set up this committee as demanded within the constitution. So what can happen? The people within the previous APC government of Ernest Bai Koroma, where they call persons of interest, then lawyers then raise now objection there. They raise them first within the sole commissioners, and then the sole commissioners then pass the rulings. They say then get a jurisdiction that then get right for listening to their issues and then from there the people that we then concerned, the persons of interest and lawyers, then proceed to the Supreme Court for interpretation, or make the justices in the Supreme Court go interpret this section for them. I think in all of this, Khadija, it will be so easy for all man that this back and forth will get through now with this white paper, before be, if this government or the Chief Justice, when this government appoints, before don't find a way, make they assign them petitions they are that the Supreme Court listen and pass judgment. We know before they into this. Which means simply that before don't interpret this section 150 when I end up be the bone of contention. But do not go. So waiting again we can see during the whole process of the Commission of Inquiry, there were documents everywhere, here and there. They bring in witnesses then we do not even know what they talk about. So now here we are. We get a Commission of Inquiry where every other Sierra Leonean before don't welcome, but unfortunately, people are questioning the very outcome, including the very lawyers on both ends. Now they question so many flaws within the Commission of Inquiry, which for me, I would think it is a missed opportunity for make we fight corruption as a united nation, united people in one country. But unfortunately, we were going to be on this issue for a long while because it's going to be back and forth. Now, the people that don't find guilty what the Constitution talk about an adverse finding, then people then already now for going to court, to the Court of Appeal, for make them go petition, then find this there and appeal on their own merits for make the Court of Appeal quash them find this there. So it's a tough one.
Thank you, sir. So the next one, we continue with this audio and I listen keenly because from there I will generate the questions for the next.
Then if we're able to treat yourself as if I deal to become a Sierra Leonean, not to with an intention for say because this now another challenging party, not just try for damage and bury.
Now stop right there. Do you guys agree or disagree for say we as Sierra Leonean for able to treat ourselves as Sierra Leonean, not with malice? Malice in the case say, okay, because this person not belong now the Sierra Leone People's Party or the All People's Congress, or for 3 times in a like quote unquote or lack of better term witch hunt. Come back in, Mr. Musa V. What's in your take on that? Do you think what he is say you agree with him or you disagree with him?
I totally disagree with that statement.
1 second.
The reason being,
yeah, 1 second. So you disagree with his statement where he make say we for treat we safe as Sierra Leonean as with oneness or without malice. You disagree with that?
I don't disagree to the fact that he give a statement saying we for actually treat ourselves like brothers and sisters. That is the fact. You understand? But if it relates that message to this particular situation with Sierra Leone, where the people are suffering, and for far too long, Sierra Leone don't actually become the least poor in the world. Absolutely, I would disagree with the statement. But if not for let we all be together, like brothers and sisters, try to be together, of course, we need to be together because we belong to the same country.
Well, still, come in 1 second. Okay, I think now make it clear to you. So what's in they say, again, the first thing we say, he agree with this commission of inquiry. It feels it necessary. The second part is that in the process of making sure that would I ever do wrong, for hold them accountable, we for be fair in the process, for treat them like they are Sierra Leonean, just like any other person, whether you belong to NGC, na SLPP. So in other words, if APC they as government, right? And then they do commission of inquiry na the opposition, therefore treat the SLPP equally the same as that of the one way na APC. Not to for do am in a way for say because this person not belong na this party, so we for mistreat am or for do the witch hunt. Now that's it. They try forget, so they try for make sure say I make am clear.
Mrs. Khadija.
Yeah.
In this matter, I tell you plain, sir. The statement we the man give, we say we for treat yourself as brothers and sisters, a very good in a positive way. If it is positive for the development, Sierra Leone is okay. But this particular thing happened, I make a listen one of the statement where the former president state that he disagree with this commission of inquiry. He look at them as a witch hunt. Definitely is a very big lie, you know. And let me look at the situation. Even the one that will be the way be there, they don't give the same statement. The one that will be the
1 second, sir. Not coming quick, yeah, because we want to make sure so we platform be credible and want to maintain that. And because you don't mention that, I go make sure say I read them. I believe say waiting the then president, His Excellency Dr. Ines Baikoma, being a response to now the allegation on him. From me understanding, and I go read them and we go able to analyze them together. I not believe say they talk about say they against the process, but rather if they try for defend waiting the allegation was from me on waiting I comprehend. But again, we all go use we brain and for try for give the correct message to Sierra Leoneans. We don't want mislead anybody. So I want just make clarity on that. And not read at any time it say they against the commission of inquiry, but rather if they respond to some of the allegation put against them. Yes, sir.
Exactly. Before you read that, the first statement the former president released, that was on Wednesday, where he dismissed the report and he referred the whole thing as a witch hunt. You know, it gave a statement saying the whole thing is politically motivated, meaning absolutely everything will happen now because of SLPP and APC. So if somebody they try to relate that kind of issue for say this whole thing are political motivated something, I believe say it don't definitely go disagree with the fact that they are treating him because in our APC or belongs to the opposition.
Okay.
Carry on.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Khadija, I don't know
Yes,
if
sir.
you mind to make
Come
a
on in.
comment.
Yes, please. Now you're on turn anyway.
I think let me put the issues here into perspective. I mean, if my brother we don't read the former president in release, I am sure you know go say firstly that in my life, I mean, which to me unfortunate for you now what the way you know even grounded in on the issues. And then secondly, the former president no ever say he no support the fight against wrong. In fact, one thing what he say now that now under in tenure, now did we pass the strongest anti-corruption laws. The strongest anti-corruption laws for West Africa under in tenure. But basically what he tried to say here now that the reason where he talk about that he's being wanted, when my brother they talk about witch hunt, where he thinks he's unfair to him. Now that under the constitution, the president gets what they call presidential executive authority, wherein there are decisions where the president at that time they take, where in the opinion he thinks they are in the interest of the country. It can either take them not decision either directly, or it can delegate it to somebody to take an on his behalf. So what's in the constitution say now that you need a question now authority, then call up the lawyers, then get what they call and say sovereign immunity. You need a questioner authority the way the president gets. As a matter of fact, the current president who gets President Bill, now that same executive authority there, now in government don't use where they cancel series of mining contracts and so many other contracts then where it don't offer to people and within in government. That's the prerogative of the presidency. It is constitutional. But if when former President Kuma used that one day, as in the case of the Sewa ground market and other including the purchase of the 100 buses, then you can for kind question say why he be used that authority there. Then the president gets it right, the former president, I mean, or make it say he's been haunted. That's a constitutional clause. You don't override them when the current president is enjoying that clause.
So
Because what you decide something that we want to set a bad precedent here, that when President Bill is no longer there, and then the next president can, he go can investigate President Bill why he used that constitutional clause there. A bad precedent for our country. I think that that's a former president be the frown at. Not to like say if they are against, for me to no investigator or do not question her for anything. We do not question those authorities under our constitution.
So, Mr. Musa V, now bring that. Having said that, make her bring that scenario now, like similarly to that of what Mr. Adams just present. Say the sitting president make a decision for the Chinese then come and take over the mining company. As a result, which I been on do an emergency broadcast na this platform and interview directly with them people there, so we go through and suffer that unfortunate thing they way. As a result, many of them become homeless, husband and wife, picking them X, Y, and Z. Now, mind you, now I give you this scenario. Say now you're in a salon, you're in that Darakula bar or Daru area, Darakula, if I'm not mistaken. You did it, now then your home, now then you don't use X, Y, and Z, and then all of a sudden Monday morning come, they say you no longer there, so you get for left because the presidents don't get it okay. Say now this land, then they cancel, then they come mime, it don't belong to them. Where you talk, police officer then come against you. This now the Chinese then are foreigners them. This now na your home of origin. Is that a right thing for you as a citizen, sir? And I want Mr. Adam answer the question as well. Come on in, Mr. Musa. Come on in.
Is the question for me or Mr. Adams?
For both. I want you start first. What I present to you now based on the dialogue what they get. It give the scenario of first you say the then president be there against. So we make clarity to you in terms of the letter we will go read. We go read later. So, Mr. Adam, come back again and give.
I mean that point I still hold an opinion.
Okay,
because
yeah. 1 second, sir.
still,
Allow me for land, please.
Clear yet.
Allow me for land,
That
please.
point
Yeah.
not clear yet.
Yeah, Mr.
Because
Musa, 1 second. This platform we want they talk with they respect each other. Just allow me. The point why they try for give is that the same decision now where they try for hold the then president accountable for. Now the same decision where we sitting presidents they make where they at the disadvantage of the citizen them where they get for be forced to become homeless. So my question now. The scenario where I give you, if you then a salon, you then are the shoes of then Sierra Leoneans they are. Chinese people then come, they say you get for vacates from your own land. Also, you don't call you home, your own home of origin. Is that a right thing to do? Is that a decision we favor Sierra Leonean or Sierra Leone as a whole? I just want a yes or no.
Let me take the whole thing again back from the days.
No,
previous,
sir. 1 second. Yeah, 1 second, sir. I know one because we get a lot. We get after this. We get to go to the white paper. I just want you to answer me first before you come into anything. Is it in the interest of Sierra Leonean or Sierra Leone? And I want Mr. Adam do and short for me as well.
Definitely in the interest of Sierra Leoneans.
Okay, for make Sierra Leone.
Whatever His Excellency Julius Maada Biode do presently. In favor of Sierra Leoneans.
Okay, so when you Sierra Leonean become homeless, then get for be forced to.
That is just a propaganda.
1 second,
everything,
sir.
Most of the things.
1 second again.
APC
Allow me to land, please. Allow me to land. I know once we get a healthy dialogue and we're gonna maintain that. Yeah, where they talk, I respect you. But if I get for coming, I'm not gonna do it in a disrespectful fashion. we don't play propaganda here. We do reality here. And me personally get videos where I don't play us on numerous occasions where they don't waste the people then where they do the news on the ground, and me say personally don't get an interview with them people there. So the question why they ask, Sierra Leoneans are forced to be homeless. Now them place where they call home, their home of origin, and the one that will get right over them, now the Chinese people them. Are you saying that is still a good decision made by the sitting president, and that is in the interest of Sierra Leonean? Come back in, sir. When I hear you, check your device, check your volume, sir. Check your volume. Press the volume, sir. Mr. Musa V. Check your volume. Check your volume. Check the one will look like a microphone and coming in. Mr. Musa, we still need to hear you, sir.
I think he's muted.
Yes, yes. Unmute yourself. Okay. Okay, in the process, go ahead, Mr. Adams. Go ahead. While it try for unmute.
So basically, what's not be the question again? Just
so we want to know if that's the decision where we sitting presidents do make in terms of the case of the mining company, where certain sets of Sierra Leoneans them are forced to become homeless. Mama and Pekin, Papa, and the list goes on. Is that in the interest of Sierra Leone or Sierra Leonean? And the other question where I ask, where I give a scenario to Mr. Musa, okay, don't come back in. If in another situation they were in, a foreigner gets more preferential treatment, or they can put an over in your aid, is that appropriate? I just want a yes or no. Mr. Musa, come on in, sir, before Mr. Adams. Sorry, Mr. Adams.
Yes, let me say this plain. I'm not going to talk a short way, because I want to let people that really listen. Because the whole thing here is, if you gather information or wherever you get information, there is nothing to prove it, because people are just going helter and skelter. They do all kind of propaganda talk. So everything what they do, when you say, people tell you, they are all propagandas and they are blunt lies.
And I'm coming back in. We don't play propaganda in this platform. This nothing. When we do me own research, I reach to the people them. So I don't want to we play with the lives of Sierra Leonean.
Then the waiting are the proof. Waiting you will prove.
The proof and the video is there. The proof and the video is there.
Homeless without no sex to them. Matter being government, or they ever do those kind of things. The man where they fight for the land, they talk and
okay, so the quick thing what we want to ask you, so obviously it's okay for you. You think say every decision we make in that department is correct, right? So we'll move forward. You agree with the decision, right?
I repeat again.
Yes.
Everything is propaganda.
Okay, so you agree.
His Excellency, they ever do
okay,
something.
so you agree with the decision. We'll move forward. Thank you, sir. Mr. Adams, come on in, sir. Do you agree or disagree with the decision of the president?
I agree with the decision, because they will never do the wrong decision.
Let us put things into perspective here. I can understand Usai Musa to come up from. Sometimes when your government stay in power, it's difficult to make you want to appear for being neutral. So somehow you are forced to say things away within your conscience. You know they are not right.
My government, I'm a Sierra Leonean.
Okay, no, sir. Wait a minute. Talk. Give you the respect. I want to.
When I say your government, your party, you understand? Because as Sierra Leonean, it's our government, but your party. When your party is in governance, let me rephrase. When your party is in governance, it's much difficult sometimes or make you come out for can't say something against them. But deep down your conscience, you know what you're saying is not right. Now, here's the thing, Khadija, so when we build up there. Government, as per we land tenure system, they tell you say nobody no own land in the country. Even though you will get documents here and there. If government see the need, say they want to make use of this area where you did, Khadija. Governments can come in, they can do that. But what in government supposed to do, that for ensure say, they provide for you an alternative, give either a better or similar accommodation to outside of the pool you, relocate you. Nobody should be made to be homeless in their own country. It is even against international norms. You understand? When they talk of stateless people, nobody in the world, nobody government not supposed to make you homeless. If government sees say this particular land we they talk about, we then go list to mining companies, then they will think say there is a natural deposit there where the state will benefit into. Government can negotiate with the owners of that place, them places study, and government find an alternative for them, for make them relocate them and make them go live a better life there. But for make you get a forceful removal, I think that is inhumane. It is inhumane. Nobody should be made to go through that. If government thinks say a particular land is of importance to them, make them find an alternative and make them say then people in it, they relocate them somewhere where they go able to get to continue life as they had in the past.
So based on in a submission, we get two different answer. One agree with the decision of the sitting president, where now Mr. Musa and then Mr. Adams believe that there could have been a better way for do things that government do have the rights for get hold of lands, but it get for follow the correct channel wherein it not go left its citizen becoming homeless. Thank you, sir. Now we move on to the next.
Why at the first place I thought for say this was a witch hunt? You know, if actually we get evidence for say somebody don't thief me, somebody don't this, somebody don't that, somebody don't this. No matter the excuses another person they come with, the fundamental facts I don't get. The fundamental evidence is what I don't get. We are quite sure say this person thief. I like an excuse say, oh wait, I will try for fulfill out. Once I know say at the end, I may know some must catch you. But there wasn't no patience. Yeah, definitely nobody know the control governments. You know, governments get the right for the whatever thing whilst in circumstances and within the law. We don't all the the accused lawyer don't raise concern for say at the start of this commission of inquiry, it submits a request for say certain things they do where they not do right, we not go right, we not go right. It serve letter to the court, it serve letter to the commission, but no response, no reply to that, which was wrong because.
Okay, so one of the things where the gentleman say and what they actually talk on, which he just buttressed on, was the point about government having the right for take land, but at the same time then go for make sure say then find then do the right way. The second part where is say I guess it come now and try for give with clarity as to why it say the procedure was not correct, and it say it give example as of letters then where they don't submit to the lawyers them to the court and nothing was done. So what thing you take on that, Mr. Musa? Do you think that the fact that letters they don't hand out to the court and lawyer, you know, by the lawyers them, but yet still they not address their issues, then they yet still and just ignore and go forward? Do you think that was a right thing to do, Mr. Musa? Check your device again. I think you're on mute again.
Okay, come again, please.
So yes, the first thing what this man do, it was basically buttressing the point where Mr. Adams just make, which was the point that governments can take land, but at the same time you not go take land at the expense of its citizen, meaning you make them homeless. So you get for make sure so you follow the correct channel or the right process before you take the land in there. You understand? Then secondly, so basically it was a coincidence because it make clarity on that, you know, when we play that area day. Then the second party was like it basically come back again and try to forgive we the instances then where even they try for say the procedure where they follow obviously was not correct, and some of them now it don't begin list. So the first one because the audio long, so they take a small. The first one where he gave was like the lawyers then we don't present letters then to the court, where therefore we don't address prior to going further. So do you think that's where they ignore the lawyers then they or the concerns that where they be present at the table, they ignore in the example, like for an instance, with the main opposition, with the parliamentarians, them where they take them out of parliament, then also file claim with but all them complaints, then they not make anything of it. So do you think it was right for them to ignore those concerns?
Like I said earlier, everything with His Excellency retired Brigadier Julius Matabio, the talk and do president, working for relieve the country from anarchy, corruption, and all the rest of it.
Sir, we are not talking about
do something without
yes, sir.
listen.
But I think say
You
it
not
seemed
listen.
like 1 second, sir.
No.
It seemed like where you come, you just want come butter up the president. But we're not here
No,
today.
but,
1 second,
you
sir.
give me the
No, 1
chance to
second,
make
sir.
a talk
Allow
at
me.
video. You
Allow
haven't
me.
been giving
No,
me
no.
the
I want
chance,
you
and
allow me
instead
1
this
second.
platform
I
is
want you
the
allow me.
everyone.
Yeah, 1
But
second,
you are
sir.
not giving me the. You
No,
are
I'm
not
gonna give
giving
you
me
the
the
chance, but
chance to
what
talk.
here the
Give me
sin
the
I
chance
saw?
to talk,
No, what here
please.
the sin I saw? And when I
Because
asked,
you don't give the
sir,
chance to the other gentleman
sir,
to talk,
sir,
but
I'm
you don't
not
want to give.
the gentleman when they talk to her, and then they come and begin to showcase.
No.
Sir, give me
Khadija,
1
keep it.
second. Where this man they talking, they come for can showcase in then president one Dr. Ines Baikoma. When I ask you question about we sitting president, then of course you're welcome to showcase them any kind way. But how will they make you look? It make you look as if you're not being honest to Sierra Leoneans. And then they ask you about the president, and they ask you about a yes or no question. Do you think that the fact that they ignore the lawyers then concern, it was right? It's an easy thing, yes or no. What does that has to do with whether it's President talk and do? It does has nothing to do with it. So this is where I can get the challenge. When I they challenge people the way they come and try for play games with Sierra Leoneans then and they say, oh, I need again. No, I'm very fair. If an APC or NGC or C4C canal, so then they play that games with the lives of Sierra Leoneans, then of course I get for challenge you as well. So me question here again, this I not ask you anything to do with President Bill. When you get that opportunity, when I bring and come, just like what they read President Ines Baikoma in letter where he writes, you're welcome to say whatever it is in that regard. But for now you come, me they ask you one question, they tell me say, oh, President Bill, you're not talking, do President at this. You're not answering the question, you they deviate we from waiting at the discussion on hand. And I don't think say that they right. So again, I they give you the opportunity for now you answer. Do you think that was right? It'd be helpful to and respectful to we lawyers them, we landed lawyers them, we come and present concerns where them believe say if we been don't address prior to everybody. One thing where we all establish here as Sierra Leonean, would that take that beef na that soup for be held accountable. You understand? So we all agree with this commission of inquiry. But now we try for see how we help our country. How we go help if you love President Bill, who say they make mistake, try for tell them. Because one, this precedent now thing if we not correct them, it go haunt we for the rest of we life, from one generation to another. How we go develop Sierra Leone. You understand? So now we look at the bigger picture, not to affiliation, not the love for an individual, but the love for Sierra Leone. But above God, the fairness of God will make way. You understand? I'm not going to see President Koroma take a elected vice president and I say, oh, he did well. No, if he did wrong, that was his weakness. He make a mistake and I shall say he learned from that. And if, because God help me for get that courage for telling that, then I know say I don't help him in that area. He not go ever be president, but I believe say in political party would I ever get for take after him as APC person, they're not gonna make that mistake there. So that's what you call love, speaking truth to power. So I want you come back again. I give you the opportunity, sir. Do you think it was right for them to ignore the lawyers then concern? Check your device, sir. When they hear you, it look like your device stay on mute again. Check your device. Check your device. There you go.
The way Khadija, definitely the way how you they work this platform is very bad. I will tell you the facts because people we really watch the news say they try to make this platform not to for help Sierra Leonean, but for promote APC party,
everybody, let me tell you something. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, but what I live with is God and my conscience. You understand? I bring everybody in also, but if APC can also the one can play games, I would put them to it. Okay, so again, I would challenge anybody where they can also and play with Sierra Leoneans. I would challenge you. You know, you can say whatever you're welcome to say so, but anybody will love Salone, then see how fear I don't deal with the question. It's a black and white. It's either yes or no. But and me they ask you one thing about having to do with the lawyers, then they bring the president. Oh, president do talk and do. Relevant. It's irrelevant. So please go ahead, sir. You device stay on mute again, sir.
It's in on my phone.
Okay,
His
no, it's okay.
Excellency retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, is a man where he do everything and he listen to people. Not a man where he just grab one day he do something. That's why the man is very slow in every decision where they make. Because the man not come for one set of people, he come for Sierra Leoneans. The man can work for Sierra Leone. And definitely, whenever you talk about corruption, whoever they start for fight corruption genuinely in any part of the world, one some countries and some people can even venture for take your life because Sierra Leone we don't live for the past years inside Sierra Leone under high corrupted president. People like late Shaka Stephen, people like Agnes Bykroma, what they do the worst to get a network of 12,500,000 and something thousand US dollars and worth of properties after investigated. And as by Coma, they deny in bona fide property when in bill out of corruption. Let me talk about these are the properties now.
Good, thank you, sir. So would they get to that? Would they get to that? So you refuse to answer the question, sir.
And as Coma is totally
thank you.
The man will try to finish the whole country. So His Excellency do a very great job.
Good, thank you. So you don't answer that question, and that way you decide for answer the question, and I'm going to respect you. Sir, no, you refuse to.
We try to explain.
Yeah. So you refuse to, and you have the right. You can do it. So okay. So Mr. Adams, I want at the end of the day, you to present yourself to the world, and you go show the world whether you're credible or you're a man of integrity.
It's not about credibility. It's about you the favor.
It's up to you, sir. You want to be credible or you have integrity? That's up to you, sir. Mr. Adam, come on in, sir.
With respect to the viewers out there, I think my brother did struggle with the issues. That's all I can note from here. If not, my brother did struggle with the issues, I am sure he would have at least, if I don't find a way for making read one or two lines into the commission's report. Now the only person women don't see where they can talk about a document where within their own party system there are people there that are questioning a lot of things the way they present as findings. Now, I mean, again, like I say, you can choose for play whatever politics way you want to play. But again, this is why we are failing in our continent, not just Sierra Leone. That's because at the support party A does no wrong in my eyes. Simply because of what I want for make them see like for say I can say anything for defending party. This is not about defending party here. This is about Sierra Leone. And some of you were on the record for calling the party out when they do something wrong. I will say it. But also where injustice are being permitted, we also need to make we talk and say this is not correct. Now you talk about some of the activities and way my brother did denying about. So
yeah, so sir, I not cut you what sir. I don't want to deviate from the question because I want land to the next. So we'll go to the white paper. The question was that some of these concerns them with the lawyer them in present for to the court. Do you think, I want to give you a yes or no, do you think that it was appropriate for them to ignore them concerns and then just forge ahead with the commission of inquiry?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
And that again, like I said, this is where the insincerity comes to play from the president downwards. Every one of them seems to be insincere. to one hand, the president they talk about the rule of law, that he will respect the rights of his citizens, but also when the citizens they ask for their rights and they are being ignored. So that's the double standard here.
Thank you, sir.
The time we say, when we do it by the law, when we go seek with judge, make we go through the court and make sure the people can get their own right. You say one thing in public, and then what is being done in private is completely different. So where's the honesty into this whole thing?
Thank you, sir. Will they continue on to with the audio? Next.
We dey try to establish something fact. Secondly, we also hear am don talk for say during the commission, and of course we all testify that because we all watch am. During the commission, some certain evidences and more documentations during the cross-examination, and we just can't get 5 minutes to cross-examination. With some pages, books away even up to 250 pages. We all listening this morning at 98.2.
I want get on that again. The gentleman say 5 minutes of cross-examination. It talk about evidence, facts, and the list goes on. And I believe say that's not ample time or sufficient time for now you give somebody examination. Mr. Musa, come on in, sir. Check your device, sir. Yes. Do you think that enough time for where they investigate somebody? You get so many concern or question for another person they answer or give account to Sierra Leoneans them. You believe say 5 minutes is enough?
5 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Or 5 days?
No, 5 minutes.
Which is which?
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
So let me be truthful. You see, one thing about politics, let me be truthful in whatever we say. You know, it's not about because you belong to that party. So waiting at the trial for talk all the things about lies and all the rest of it. And all these things will be analyzed. Whoever do it, because I know say this not APC, they do it because the one way they say nine do MSC definitely don't say.
So 1 second, that's contradicting statements right there. You said that APC person. I want to give me 1 second, sir. Hold on. Let me land, sir. 1 second, sir. Yeah. You said that APC person. I want to. No, let me finish, please. Let me finish. Please, yeah. You said that APC 9 do right? So give me that evidence. That's one. Secondly, I want you hold on, sir. Secondly, you say no, we don't put on our we're not the first person for saying that do right? So isn't that contradicting statements? For the benefit of with audience. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something. APC now we all know we get that permission. But the past 11 years at least, they don't rule that country. They don't rule that country. It's not about where side you come or the tribe you belongs to. Even though we almost say the politics of the APC are division. Because only by division they will kind of power. But this time around, Sierra Leoneans, they don't know them for that. Everything where they come on, where they happen, these are all propaganda. But to be honest enough, the most important thing, we are mature people. Sierra Leoneans, they don't suffer a lot. The rebel, the Ebola, the slide, the kind of things that will not happen within this short period of time. So for when you come out to Sierra Leoneans and you just they talk because like you want propaganda, the more you they talk because they all know what's in the happen in the country presently and for the past 11 years of the ex-president.
So you see, I don't give you time for now you express yourself, but you still deviate from the question. Do you think 5 minutes is enough?
If you take somebody to court, the person wanna say na input the audio, you don't tell them say not pull that audio, na manipulate. So
no, it's beyond that.
This thing the debate is just like a propaganda.
Yeah, we not care about who that do this audio, right? But with the Mr. Musa, please, 1 second. No, it's necessary. So the question I ask you, I know say you don't deviate from my game. Yes, sir.
Again, Khadija.
Yeah.
I still talk about the level of dishonesty. Whether it is Emerson, it is Musa, it is Suri, the audio was released by a Sierra Leonean. You understand? and whatever it is what the person say there makes absolute sense. Let's get that fact. And besides, now certain people say that Emerson, but when you listen to audio, the person calling him, I don't know why even Emerson, therefore even can make a disclaimer. The person calling him, he said Ishmael.
Okay.
He didn't call his name along when you listen to the audio. He said Ishmael.
So obviously, because of the close in terms of the way how then they deliver
the voice and
voice,
everything,
yeah.
the
So
similarity. I mean, there are so many
yes,
people with some person in way they pass for other person.
absolutely,
One
absolutely.
or two person probably will listen to the audio, will not go to that far like how many listener. You understand? The moment you listen, it pick up, so oh, this is Emerson, somebody right, they say, oh, now Emerson the talk.
Correct.
Understand?
Yes.
And here, brother, now they can say, oh, now APC. What facts do you have? Say that audio came from an APC person. This is the level of this.
My brother, listen, my brother.
No.
I'm not here to. I'm not here to debate.
Released the audio.
I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to campaign. I'm not campaigning.
Okay, so now we then move forward. We then move forward. Thank you, Mr. Adam, and thank you, Mr. V.
I'm not here to campaign. My
Yeah. Okay, 1 second. No.
These are all evidences of a witch hunt, because if not a witch hunt, look, if I accuse somebody for say, Mister, you don't thief me, during the time you thief me, yeah? I not forget at my background or at the back of myself for say, this person, my hook or crook, and the most make sure say, Ola. I feel that this kind of approach in any current regime use. Secondly, to me, I just feel say it's a simple reason we come towards that why they use this current approach. One, the APC, I feel say the developmentally or infrastructurally oriented in terms of their governance.
Do you agree with that, please? Mr. Musa, you believe say the All People's Congress, when it comes to infrastructure, they're great in that area and development?
Khadija, definitely APC, they are responsible for the downfall of that country.
No.
Everybody know.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. We
They
respect
haven't
that.
done anything. They're not
Do you
absolutely for the.
Okay.
Can I talk, please?
No. Again, you know they ever respect me, the question the way they present, and that is annoying. So what me they ask you, I know say you get strong hate for the All People's Congress, understandable, and I respect. No, 1 second. No, it's obvious because
I
even
hate for their corrupt.
1 second, sir. I believe say APC and SLPP they all get their weakness, but there's no way me go sit down and also say APC na the worst party or SLPP na the worst. I go rather for Netherland. 1 second, sir. 1 second, sir. For Netherland, you the able for where you they talk, you for present authentic evidence as to waiting make you believe say they are weak in this area. Now that only way you they help person. But if you they condemn, then obviously that's an example of witch hunt or hate. I don't know if I clear with that.
Hate.
Yeah.
The country can force. So I don't pass anybody now.
Okay, so you don't believe certain developmental
party. Listen, Khadija. So I don't pass any political party. It passed any individual president, no matter how much you love them. So whenever we talk, like we put Sierra Leone first. This is not going to be like I did talk this because I want for use propaganda for say let me party come in power. Let me put Sierra Leone first. For the past years, we country don't become the poorest country in the world. Where we say people are dying out of hunger just because of corrupt politicians like Michael Madden.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, sir. So they're not developmental.
But I mean your opinion.
Okay.
Can I say my own opinion? Please?
Yeah, no, I don't we don't hear you, so you don't answer the question. Say you not believe say then
Yeah, but I didn't answer the question.
No, sir, we
because
dwell.
Okay,
we don't get the
duration
answer
of time. So I will give me watch and I want say
okay. No, because you deviate away from the thing. Okay, you don't answer now. You don't tell me say you not believe say you disagree with this man's statement. So I respect that, and the audience then will be the judge. The judge, Mr. Adams, do you agree with the statement of this the man in submission for say APC, they're more of a developmental mindset in terms of infrastructure, and the list goes on. What's in a your take?
I mean, that's not a fact that you can argue. We
Okay,
can go.
so if you say that, waiting, give me some evidence for convince
we
we.
can go through. We can go through historic data.
Give me the
If you
example.
see- Now, when I mean, if we want to go from Sheikh Stephen and days, if you want to talk about the U building, the stadiums, the key government quarters, and all of that, these are APC and development. Now you left now side, you fast forward. You come to the Ernest Koroma era. Now, the very stronghold of the SLPP, that place was a pothole. Where you drive down there, you're prone to so many accidents during the rainy season. The APC third, where they say, what's have been the slogan where we get from the current Minister of Finance? Say how do you call it? There is this term where they use kind of a makeshift sort of a road. I will think of the exact
Cosmetic.
Cosmetic. It's not a cosmetic road APC that they make. But that same cosmetic road there, that then they in the country all over the place, well accessible, including Hillcross bypass and all those other roads. APC did all of those. APC brought so many developments. I am not saying they were perfect. That's far from it. But more we learn from make we acknowledge ourselves. Outside people then do one or two good, and then outside them do bad, then you can raise them. But it cannot just be negative all of the time.
Thank you, sir.
And then you expect APC people to appreciate this government in any field they do. No. Like some of we will tell you, say, we will applaud like something like the free education, though the quality is not there yet. I will say it on record.
Thank you, sir.
That doesn't mean I am against my country. Some of the insincerity there. I mean, we're not doing justice to the viewers out there.
Thank you, sir.
People we at least they're able to see beyond partisan line, and then you talk who say say your opponent is wrong, and those are the do one or two things good. You acknowledge that.
Thank you, sir. Now continue, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Then we look for say when we do infrastructure, that comes with development. While the SLPP they feel say when they write policies without implementation,
policy without implementation. What are you take on that, Mr. Musa? Do you agree or disagree?
Now, Khadija, the way you panel, David, they force me to say something which you want to let me say, and I'm not going to do it.
Not at all, sir.
Because
not at all.
Listen, me not mature somebody. I'm not a stupid somebody for lay account the panel. You they force me to say something. What you want? Let me say. If I say something, out of
Mr. Musa, 1 second. But I will force you for say something when you are not a baby.
No, let's see you want.
No.
Before I retire, so many times I don't listen to a DC platform. Everybody say this is APC.
It's challenging.
Propaganda.
It's critical. Critical
thinking.
You know
the reason why Akaya. I just want because like you called me, but I come with the mindset say this is APC propaganda platform.
Just like other people go say AYV na SLPP, but listen, it's beyond the point. I am here to serve Sierra Leonean. I am here if APC can so they want can talk all kind bad, but SLPP they not give me authentic evidence. I would challenge them. So again, if you decide for go with those set of Sierra Leoneans, we don't put the mindset say no matter what I do, they don't decide say now that way they don't go look this platform. It's nothing I can do. But me conscience and God where they serve and not say I am fair to every Sierra Leonean. Everything what I don't ask you today, you don't deviate from the question. You don't I cannot force you for no sir, please not think that way they. I respect everything what you say, even if I disagree with listen, there's a two different things. I respect what you say, but I can disagree with you. Sir, I not go agree with you. I respect you, but I go disagree with you. I want you understand it too. I disagree with you when you see the obvious truth and then you shy away from it because of affiliation. That you need a helpful country. You cannot say that you put Salon force, then you see certain things, you still know one column. So the man say, when it comes to the Sierra Leone People's Party, they are more of writing policy without implementation. What thing are you take on that? Do you agree with him or do you disagree? And if you disagree, waiting at the reason back and up for we. Like I asked Mr. Adam for net it back up in claim say APC don't accomplish so much. It give with the scenarios them, it give with the instances them. So go ahead and do the same thing. The ball is yours now. The cut is yours. When you check your device again. Assist in a desire for calling a patient with small, please.
If Khadija, let me tell you something. If actually you don't make a platform.
Again, you see, you're wasting your own time and you are not fair to yourself. I don't present the question to you. You are sitting there debating. Listen, the debate, listen, sir, you're debating with me. It's simple. The question goes, sir, hold on 1 second. I don't want to, listen, you're not being matured. You're not being respectful. You see how Mr. Adam, they conduct himself. But you're very aggressive. You're argumentative. You they cut me off. And even when I try to bring you back to the question. So you are the problem here, sir.
You cannot bring me to the question.
The question says, the man say, SLPP, they are more of writing policy, sir. They are more of writing policy without implementation. Do you agree? Do you agree or disagree?
You really hate SLPP. No, they tell you you're laughing, but you hate SLPP.
It's not possible.
But they tell you truth on this platform say you really hate SLPP, but that doesn't mean say
the late Ahmed Tijan Kabar, Nami Uncle, how I go hate SLPP? Sir, answer that question. How I go hate SLPP? I call things by their name. I will hate any political party when they do right by Sierra Leone. Sir.
Everybody definitely definitely snap before judgment and it will put all the money but the still if they use this platform for APC, then definitely you get
Khadija,
using this platform.
Khadija, I think we need more do justice.
You get for be fair with yourself. Just be fair.
Let's do justice to Viers. I mean, with respect to my brother, I want to be as respectful as I could. But it appears as if my brother is struggling with the issues. This is why
Mr. Musa he is struggling with the issue. And I'm going to get a big panel today.
About APC. This is not about APC. We're talk about Sierra Leone. Talking about Sierra Leone. Speak to the issues, my brother. This is not about APC versus SLPP.
Man, it's everything.
We're not campaigning here.
It's not really like an interest of government. It's in the interest of
all Sierra Leoneans under your government.
From corrupting
Mr. Musa, be serious, man. Mr. Musa, listen, come back to the question. Take the opportunity. Listen, you don't start. I'm so impressed. You come well. You look dapper. Hold on. You come, you dress fine. Hold on 1 second. You were calm. So why now you don't maintain? Hold on 1 second. You come, you don't dress fine, you don't stand cool. Then now you know what answer the question. The question I ask and present to you, the statement is that
now you they mute me.
No, I get for mute you because you are becoming argumentative and aggressive. So I get for mute you for let the audience there. What they say? What are they? You didn't do well, so continue that route, please. So what I want to know? I fear with you, Mr. Musa. But answer.
Support and was by promote interrupting things that was wrong. Trying to be fair to yourself. Stay.
No, Mr. Musa, answer the question. You're not here to fight with me. Answer the question. If not, we move forward.
There is no justice here, Khadija.
This is where we are missing the points, Khadija. This is where we are missing the point. Now, keep saying an eskroma. Usa Indeso na Holland, right? Even the most ardent criminal, when I say you're not criminal, you get what's in called the due process. You get a day in court, when you get to go to court until the court says otherwise.
Yeah.
He keeps saying an eskroma this, an eskroma that. But he's also a citizen of Sierra Leone where he's supposed to get a day in court. The problem with Una seem to be less appreciative of this former president, and then when I expect Sierra Leoneans, now here you are lecturing us about citizenship.
Mr. Musa is something else.
You know, if I acknowledge a former president, you keep calling him corrupt here and there.
Yeah.
But there are so many allegations out there about current President Bio in previous tenure during the NPRC. But people gave him the benefit of the doubt.
You talk about President Bio, right? Why would I so much?
Okay, so Mr. Musa, okay, we answer back.
I want to hit the country.
Let us go to the court. Let us go to the court. I want to see, and this is what I keep saying to the SLPP party then. If you say some of them property, then they wouldn't value so that house. Because I mean that's my area. That's Godrich area. If it's, and I know that property. If you say that property they it's worth $5 million, put it up for sale, not sell them below $5 million. Let us see who that they go buy now Osin a salon for $5 million. That's the dishonest for this whole thing. It's completely
okay.
dishonest.
So, Mr. Musa, before we go forward, what thing are you take now? You feel say this man is
What
statements.
about which take do you want me to give? Where this platform is APC propaganda?
Wait. No, serious. No, serious. Oh, be serious.
Let us say, and it's by Chroma.
No. We need to talk about.
You begin
Wait. What are they try for say? I want to answer. You get the opportunities now for defend your political party. The man say, in belief say, SLPP is about writing policy without implementation. Do you agree with that man's statement or you disagree with his statement?
I definitely get to talk on this platform saying all the thief runners Chroma don't thief. No, not true. So
No, that's we they come to that one day. We they come to the white paper.
Then
you go
that's
tell
what I'm saying.
no, Mr. Musa, no. And everybody where they do that and they take sin per me and hey, I know will control how people them.
Nobody knows
Mr. Musa, I am not in control of how they think. I am only responsible for what I do and how I serve me God and me conscience. You understand? I not go sit down and say everybody they call somebody thief, where I not get authentic evidence for saying a thief man. If that make me say you put me in any box or category, it is quite okay. You get the opportunity now for answer questions you are refusing. So will they continue, sir? You obviously know I answer that question. So they continue to the next one. In a 1 second.
Connection successful.
The user's current approach. One, the APC, I feel say they are developmentally or infrastructurally oriented in terms of their governance. Then the move.
Sorry. Please, in an call it, please, would they still try for analyze when we get time? I go open the line.
Conflict development. While the SLPP then feel say when they write policies without implementation, few implementations, they feel say that is governance because then they feel say like the bookman and the Bokudi. You understand? That is my own opinion. So whatever good thing we like the APC they do, like construction of roads, the introduction of the lights and all other things, then so some of them things that they become very triggered. So some certain set of people have been able for using things there for say, oh, these are targets, right? These are targets. Since these are not our priorities, since the people are take them as priorities, I think if we not try for enter into the people there, some of them things that will carry this. So certain
do either of agree to a statement say the All People's Congress they takes the road, the light as priority. Now some of the things that we don't accomplish in that country day. What thing I take, Mr. Musa? Mr. Musa, check your device again. Mute. Yep. You don't mute, sir. We don't hear you. Go ahead, sir. You believe say they don't accomplish any of that, the road and the light under the All People's Congress? What's in a your take? You can agree or disagree with that man.
If you definitely give me the platform, let me self-talk. Then if you play fair, if you play fair,
Mr. Musa, please answer the question. You agree or disagree, sir?
If you don't play fair, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay, it's up to you, Mr. Musa, because from where you come now, you're not the first person who are bringing at the table. Now you're not the first person who are
No, but you're not
present.
fair. This is not fair.
That is
You know they play
fine. That is
platform
fine.
like this.
Hey, it's up
If
to
you
you.
break a platform,
Sir, you're welcome to stay or you're welcome to leave. I believe say I've been more than fair. You understand? Here we need to play games where they present challenging question, where they challenge people them based on the comments. All you have done here, you want present sing. We don't do that here. We they analyze things, we they call things by the name for help. If not, like I tell you the example where the then president make the mistake where he sack in elected vice president. You understand me? So if
people are the debates with, and they debate with you and
you are not debating with me, sir. You want to debate with me because you not believe. Say, I for ask you a critical question,
No.
and that is my place to ask you critical question. I'm not gonna sit here for you to lie to Sierra Leoneans. I will not let you do that. If I go on a platform, I they respect you. We don't play games here. We don't play propaganda. I respect every Sierra Leonean. All you have done here, just like how you accuse the then president, all you have done here is insult me. You don't call me so many names, regardless of waiting the contribution with me they do towards Mama Salon. So, equally so, I can only understand waiting the then president the face for people like yourself. You cannot say that you like Sierra Leone, you're not able to engage in peaceful. You cannot say that you like Sierra Leone and you're not able to engage in peaceful and matured conversation. And I believe say that's the end of you, sir.
Talk the right thing, which is wrong.
Nobody need to say that you not talk the right thing, but you cannot lie to Sierra Leoneans. And I need to ask you a certain question. You to go there. It doesn't make sense, sir. I'm gonna mute you because we don't argue here. Mr. When you they talk, Mr. Adam, they patiently wait. Immediately when Mr. Adam begin bring vital, significant points, them you they interrupt just like how you they do me.
This is all a set up. This.
What is set up? Everything is being presented to you. What is set up? Is what you don't prove to Sierra Leone that, sir? What you don't prove to Sierra Leone that you cannot hold healthy debates. That's what you have proved. 1 second, sir.
Yeah, if the debate.
So I think we go let you go because obviously you do not want to be involved in this conversation. Sorry, Mr. Adams. Now we forge ahead, please. Mr. Adams, kindly answer that question there in terms of the road and light. Do you believe that the APC do that as priority? If so, what are your evidence for support your statement, sir?
But absolutely they did. I mean, you again, like I say, you may want to say what you may about APC, but when it comes to development in terms of doing things the right way, I think they are right on the money. By that I mean they are quick in that. When President Nkrumah take over power, Sierra Leone was classified as one of the darkest cities now. That the record's there. He said within 90 days, I go light the country. And within less than 90 days, he did, to be true to his word. He said whatever he will get for take we, whatever he get for cost we will. And so was it. He tried. They come up with the Bumbuna phase 1 project. We then complete it in no time. Lights begin to come. Then he rehabilitates so many substations. Light is there. Now lights in this current government can benefit to. Even the power ship would later negotiated because the Bumbuna hydro they fluctuate during the dry seasons. They went and negotiated with the Turkey power ship. When this government came, the SPP government, they met that agreement. Now the same Bumbuna project and the same Turkey power ship project and they carry on with so. Nobody is saying that even President Nkrumah, he says in his handing over now, where they address the people of Sierra Leone, he say, in a man, he may not have done everything right by the book. He may have made mistakes. People that will serve him, they don't do things the way they're wrong. He owned up to that. That tells you he's a sincere person. I know they say get imperfect. You understand? Well, he did admit that he is not perfect. But unfortunately, we get somebody where they try to portray another motorman, a company motorman, as being this kind of a perfect person. When they make mistakes simply because of voting, political, because I belong to some. that my party does no wrong. Come on. As believers, they tell we say the only person that make mistake, now God, we are the Almighty. But every other person here would make mistake on that. President Koma admitted he may have made mistakes. So people need for understanding things today. But when it comes to developing Sierra Leone, I mean, you cannot argue that with APC. APC went, they developed areas within the southeast, even though they don't say, yeah, we need to get votes now. Yeah, not to be strong. But they looked beyond that. If there is anything, they even deprived their stronghold areas. Well, they're not developed. But the president had to do it because it was about Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leoneans, the lines are sorry, sir. Thank you. The lines are open. You're welcome to call. While in the meantime, we'll still debate. Make and clear here. Set of Sierra Leoneans already gets a preconceived notion wherein I don't care what I do, what I don't do. They already don't put me in this category wherein this party belong to. So she's not gonna be ever fair to Sierra Leone in here. That is a blatant lie, and I would challenge them at any time. Okay, the same equal respect and opportunity where whether it's C4C, NGC, SLPP, APC all other political party is given here. Now the same equal one SLPP is given. You cannot come here and try for play that games of propaganda and you expect me not to challenge you. If the APC cannot then they tell we say we elected president during the Dr. Ines Baikroma was not sacked by Dr. Ines Baikroma. I would challenge that person and no say they come here so they lie and they propagate. You understand? Inas don't be the judge for Inasef. Every comment where they ask Mr. Musa, you understand, and they challenge me, it's like as if me and him they on a debate and they bring come stuff we're not relevant at all. You know, it never stayed on topic, and you want to sit on us, so now just say yes, yes, yes. No, we're not here. We want to remain to be credible, and anything what would they present now, so in a no say would they back up with authentic evidence. Equally so as that of Mr. Adams. Everything where they present to we, and they ask for it back in statement of with example where it be saying authentic evidence where not to it be say it can propagate in political party. If you are just here to say that you're not fair, you just use this platform for showcase APC or whatever the case may be, then it shows the weakness in terms of you trying to maintain a healthy dialogue. That is just what it shows. Because you get the opportunity for come so and say and challenge the question where then they present to you and showcase waiting you believe say now a misconception about whether it is APC or SLPP. But you cannot deviate from the question, and then when I try for bring you back, then you just say I'm not fair. You are not you are the one that is not fair. Like I said, Mr. Adam has been very patient when Mr. Musa they talk, they respect him, but immediately when the man they come, they bring your own points, they make him back again. The same thing as him. If they talk and they try for coming and say, no, that is not what I asked you, and they try for bring you back to track, you they say, I need to give you a chance. That is not fair for me, for now they try for give that kind of picture, they ain't all right. So with that said, now sorry, Mr. Adams, now just try for finish this audio, and the line is open and I can call at any time.
Set of people and go to try for think seriously thinking that if my guy go talk so, but that is a fact. If you see they think of this logically, it is just a fact. Yeah, it is just a fact. Now, the other thing I want to talk about here, the president will listen in speech. He talked for say this is the last commission. Why is it so? Because it is a retaliation. That's why it starts from mention the previous commissions the way the former president started.
So what do you think, sir? Do you think it's a retaliation from within this man is say, or do you disagree?
Well, to some extent, I may want to agree with him. Okay. Because, I mean, if it's not the retaliation or political wishing, we all want to see the fight against corruption succeed. Every one of us. But we never break with laws simply because I think, say, you, Khadija, you belong to a certain party, we may not belong to. So any side they mention your name, I should be aggrieved. I get to be upset because they don't mention your name. Forgetting that, say, you are entitled to your rights them under the constitution. You're entitled to your protection under we laws. And as much as we call you say, or we think say you've done something wrong, we should respect those rights until they are proven otherwise within a competent court of law. Now, the commission of inquiry, as per the constitution, is waiting. Where that commission they don't set up, their findings are that ruling of the High Court of Sierra Leone. So they are serious findings. So we have to be very careful when those findings come up against citizens of the country. Or make sure say they are done properly and within the law. Now that are the concerns with persons of interest and get. If you say you want to fight
I
corruption,
apologize, sir.
then somebody raise a concern.
Yeah.
I think the best.
Yes. Sorry, Mr. Adams. Call the coming. Salon for All, Voice for All, Network Television. Kindly identify yourself. Who side you call from, please? Welcome.
Hi, Khadija. This is Nastu from Canada.
Hello, Madam Sue.
How
Welcome.
do you do?
We're fine, thank you. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, madam.
Hello, Mr. Adams. Wanna thank you for the show. Mr. Musa still there or he don't left?
No, it don't left.
Oh, okay, I knew he was going to leave because you get patience, my dear. You not a woman of great patience and continue for do what you need to do. I believe for say Mr. Musa, then we don't coach him already. For let come out here and misbehave. He has no respect for the show and he not being calm with honesty for say they come answer questions and not even think self say he intelligent enough for let he able for debate for in your point of view as a man, let alone as a Sierra Leonean. When you come out here and you try to place your ideas and your knowledge, sure for say you're capable of thinking for yourself, sure for say you're capable of understanding the material within they present to you, and sure for say whether you bias or not, sure for say you get intelligence, and Mr. Musa no present that at all. So I want to let you be patient, continue to do what you they do. Them boys they are so na rascal, them na Fatima and playboy them. And it's just so sad enough that he not able to show for say in a smart motor man because we don't see how idiotic then don't they behave all this while and he just can't add more, you know. So I commend you for being patient. Honestly, you have a lot.
You get for B, right?
And I wish I can take some from you.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Okay,
I'm
dear.
humble.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. God bless.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye. Continue.
Yes,
Bye.
yes. Mr. Adam, come on in, sir. Come on in. I know say be the talk. Sorry about. Oh, another call they come in. Oh, wait. Go ahead, Mr. Adams.
I mean, with Musa and going out one, I mean, the sister could not be right, but I can understand. You know, I want to be respectful as much as I can to an opponent, but I knew he's challenged with the issues, and he's having difficulties expressing himself, yet alone understanding the issue. So now he make you become this much agitated over any simple question that you ask. But going back to the commission of inquiry we talk about the fight against corruption. I mean, you may not like President Kuruma. I keep saying this, but if he were not sincere, I don't be think say it before enact some of them very tough anti-corruption laws there will get a salon. This amendment can do very recently, not just for tied up the T's.
Sorry, sir. The person with the call up. Do I call the other line? The other this phone they act up. So call the other line. The numbers them where we present. We get multiple numbers that we can call. The why we call in they go through. Sorry, it gets a dark screen. Go ahead, sir. Forgive me on the.
Yeah. So basically, like we say, you cannot in any way question our campus in the we under in tenure. We see a stack in ministers that will be work under where they allege say they were corrupt. He did all of that. So I mean, as imperfect as he is, give him his due. Even the devil self, he gets out the way he do good. Give the devil his due. We all want to fight corruption, but let us not fight corruption with malice. Because what you would try for set to now, we try for set a very bad and dangerous precedent for Sierra Leone, where by the time where this government will empower us to get for go, then when the next lot they can set up an investigative commissions of inquiry of this statute, then they go begin tell people and say, a house that is worth 500 million euros, which will say you, Khadija, you go to genuinely build with the hard labor, but out of spite, then they go say, now you host the Khadija your house, it's worth $2 million. Just for waiting for justify say the money where Khadija be work for the time when he served, you not to measure it to the number of properties where you get. So that means you may have acquired it as a result of process. That's not the sort of thing that we need. You want to bring in a trained and qualified valuation officer, get the right person. Not go bring somebody with a tin up on top of a truck, then he watch the fence of a building, then he say, oh, I don't value this property. This house worth 47 billion euros. Are you serious? You never even go inside it. Are you a quantity surveyor? Or make you measure brick by bricks, layer by layer, then you come up with a cost? He did not do any one of those. And during course examination, he did admit it, that he's not a trained and qualified valuation officer, but by experience. And so, then you see the commissioners there, even with those series of discrepancies and the testimony of the person they're bringing as an expert, then you went ahead and then you adopted those submissions the way he gave. Come on, where's the fairness? Where's the fairness? Where if not the party of the world, from that moment, say that person is no longer fit to be a witness. They throw him out completely. And ask the government to make them get experts in for go evaluate them properties in it. But that was never the case. All of the submissions that we now valuation officer they give, now that the commission adopts. That's not fair. You go see somebody on finished house, then you go say this house worth about $6 million. On finished house. You say worth that much. Come on, Khadija, in America you did. I don't know the UK. When I tell you about a $5 million or £5 million property, it's worth the price. It's worth the price tag. But you go put price tag on property the way, come on.
Yeah. Well stated.
That's
Thank
not,
you, sir.
not right.
Thank you. At the 12 now, we'll just finish this one out totally and entirely. So we'll go to the other points then before we land today, which are the white paper. So now just finish the entire audio now.
It clearly shows that it is a retaliation. That's why I also say that a witch hunt. I never say some other person will come back will try to defend that, but I'm waiting on that defense. Alright? When you are the president, you did for a specific period of time. After that, the country will go back to elections. Then, if you win, it's good. You continue with your presidency. If you don't win, another person can step in. But you did determine the future. So if the president comes up and says this is the last commission, that clearly shows the intention for this commission of inquiry. Okay? Good. Now, we all know this country, because if the president talks for the self affect corruption, we all know this country. We all don't see, we are in this school feeding program, rest count for them picking them. Picking them, the school being peoples, they don't even get the rest. The rest disappear without embezzle that money, nothing. At the end of the day, the ACC talk for they don't get substantial evidences. We are not get substantial evidences, but where is the rice? The bottom line, the fact here is there was rice meant for the kids. And the second fact now is the rice, the Tifa. So without the Tifa, the outcome of no substantial evidences. Is that an indication to dedicate that are willing for fed corruption? No. No. Secondly, we all deny these COVID funds. For goodness sake, if we think Sierra Leone, COVID money, how, for goodness sake, the president will talk for say, enough for be accountable for? That is a completely bad precedent. They then go back na parliament for the debate on that and vote on that. It is completely bad. It is completely bad. Yeah? So, if you, the president, can set them kind of bad precedents there, you know, things in the future projects, and if they can, then we talk for the president will say, please for say, certain project, okay, do a new project, I mean, corona money, they say they're not accountable for that. So, if any development or project come again in the future, definitely we will be money for accounts for that. talking about transparency, I heard the president talk about inclusiveness. Yeah. Now we'll go back to parliament. We really think for say the manner of at which they pass law in parliament, is it appropriate? No, it is not democratically appropriate. For say who say who are in support, let them say hey, who are against, let them say nah. Come on.
I think say na no make them too convoluted for you. So it makes some salient points. Let me talk about setting precedents where basically go hunt from one administration to another. It make the reference in terms of the rights for the students them where they say they not get substantial evidence for not to hold anybody accountable, and obviously because they are the sitting governance from waiting in they say, so nobody not being held accountable. It talk about the COVID funding, where it say the fact that the president even think about say enough or give accounts also it raised concern in terms of transparency, and it talk about inclusiveness, and then it talk about the the process as which then they use now parliament for I call them pass a law. Anybody will say hey, anybody will say nay. I think for they kind of expand on basically wherein if they want to do that they right, I think say no land for that. If they want to do and right, then for actually make sure say everybody vote. So now we and a land pad and then I bring you come back in, sir.
Come on. They deal with literally, they deal with fools. Why can't there be voting? Let them talk for say each and every representative grab Lego cast your vote. So through that, you will see a certain set of people in where something because they will fear for say I didn't have this party, do this billion a bad bill, but how for the adjustment for join the group. So now join the group. But if actually they want for me the actual consent of that person, let them talk for say write your vote, you can send out the ballot box. But that was not done. That was not done. You understand? And not only this current regime start that kind of approach. Not only this regime start that kind of approach. So if let us say no wonder we the pass a bill the parliament for say the president is not for accountable for any of his travels then. They will see certain full parliamentarians and go back in the parliament with the support that. So any kind of funding the president should utilize, no, you don't need to be accountable for that because he's the president. So where is the democracy? Where is the transparency here? So some of the things that sometimes we can talk, we have to actually look around and ask ourselves certain questions. Then, are we fair to certain people in this country? We are not. No, if me I say people man, I didn't parliament. I can't pass a bill for the president's bill. Any bill for any traveling, you know, need for accountable for any of your money. You use any kind of money. But for goodness sake, they say who are in support, and say, hey, if you say anything left behind, no, I can't. Because for us, if I left behind, the party will turn against me. But the best thing, if you want for no choice, may they say write your vote and cast it. If you're in support, say yes. If you are against, say no. So through that, you go for capitalism, you go for no. Thirdly, I really, want to report after the presentation of this white paper, it talked for say the former president before in time of office, they get certain set of houses. Then this is all rubbish. When current presidents come, they ask them for a declaring assets. President Bio never declaring assets. In the what he do, he camouflage himself, he go na ACC, he go do that interpersonally with Francis Ben Kaifala. Is that transparency? When they ask the chief minister.
Okay. Look like when they get a call. Apologize. Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. Kindly identify yourself. Who's how you call from, please?
Hello, Madam Khadija. This is Umar. Long time I not call now.
Hello, sir. Welcome, welcome.
Come from Switzerland.
Oh, wow. Sudan. Long time indeed. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
From Switzerland.
Oh, Switzerland. Switzerland.
Don't forget me small.
No, not at all. But it has been a while indeed. Yeah. Welcome, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Exactly. Okay. You see, Khadija, we get one problem at that country. Now, the way we look at things, we get for honest to ourselves. If really we want that country they go for, we all deny una safety and una know the type of development and know how governance they go. But when governance centered on only two political parties, where this come, they do this come, they do this, and the result is so we did get. That country there, we don't take everything, we don't hand over into politics. We don't take everything, we don't put up on politics. If you go to SAPP today, and APC tomorrow. For goodness sake, this fight just for be anti-corruption fight, enough for be anything between APC and SAPP. But now all we don't see now a mere political witch hunting. In the go on that country right now. That's now one side. They don't turn the fight, the people in fight, to a political fight. APC was a very, 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 very corrupt government. Corrupt officials. Everybody knows that. But if they fight, they go, therefore be honest, therefore be fair. And free from all fear. But we see some of we left for talk this thing. We left for talk this thing until they set the commission of inquiry. How on earth, which house, Khadija, me they work now a construction site, and it's a construction company. We know when they say house not $1 million. When they say house not $2 million, we say we did that Switzerland, we are one of the expensive partner in the world. When they say house not $2 million, you say you know in a house. Come on, we didn't pamphlet it in that country. If you go call somebody, even you will talk better English to make it to go sit down to go guest per house price. Like now go buy. That's now one. Then two, the APC government will therefore be fair to itself. For say there no be no say they go for account. APC government no say them get for account. There be no say them tip them get for account. Let them have all this public sympathy and defend all kinds of sympathy. Let them left and go answer. Let them go answer to the commission, then prove they're innocent. For goodness, we'll go for talk something, then be corrupt. And if you rule somebody for 10 years, you need answers. People need answers. Una go give answer. Una just let all this social media for go explain the pull and panati. In fact, most of the judges of the Supreme Court don't even listen to this explanation. Let them go clear the aid. If you know say thief Salomoni, for goodness sake, let them go clear themselves. We don't tire with this APC current thief, SLPP current thief. We the one old one, they put up a political party. We the one old one, they put up a north. We the one old one, they put up a east. Now we left this east, north, west. Now we left this regional politics business. We put Salon Force. Now, for goodness sake, for an example, look the first lady, open shop, get shop, no sign at this na salon. If they go pull, if they pull 450 million, 200 million, they go give away. Now, if they give away that day, nobody they ask her, say pull that money. Tomorrow, another power. Where they want ask her for that day, it's the same way APC that they grab so just now, they defend APC now. So that's why go they grab defend SAPP. We still in at the same place, merry go round. Let them go answer. Let them let all this political witch hunting, then fight corruption fairly, and let the people then go answer. Anybody don't eat Salon money, anybody thief Salon money, let it pull them. If you say you're not thief, if you say you're not thief Salon money, when you go answer, you clear your name. All this explanation, the big sense. SAPP this, APC this. Now we forget about this SAPP, APC. Now police for politics. Now fight corruption. Honestly, and now we support the fight against corruption. We no care what they make. Politically, I support APC, but when it comes in terms of corruption, we go for fight them. Some of you don't grow, then say corruption will get sense. We need to get no progress. Some of you know what you make left that country, do kind of or a man country. We then had some of with man they ask you, we tell and say you are Sierra Leonean, then they watch geographical location, they watch what you wanna get, they watch this. Some man they even ask you what you defend ya. We don't tire for the answer questions. Then they left this APC, SFPP business. APC, everybody knows now open secrecy and then thief. But let the government not turn out to witch hunting. Let them fight honestly. Anybody, no secret cow. Anybody, they whether not SFPP, then not APC, then not SFPP. If you go for go answer, let go answer. And as by Kromai house, we all know say no rich that money day. But if you know say a name clean, let go answer. If you not satisfied, you go to Supreme Court. All this public sympathy when they fed, they bring. Let them forget for this answer you clear your name. And the government for avoid political witch hunting. We don't tell. Some of you know they don't say again, they don't make wrong gains. So now me on that.
Thank you so much. So glad for hearing from you again. Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless you. All right. I shall say we don't listen to the caller, and then secondly, we don't listen to some of the we almost come at the end of the audio, but go ahead and come in, sir. I want to address some of this. It makes some.
I just want to respond to
the caller.
The caller first before they go to the audio.
Yes, sir.
I think, in fairness to the caller, you get a point.
Yes.
I mean, I know who can sit down as an APC supporter and can tell you say APC did everything right for the people of Sierra Leone. No. I'll be very unfair to myself and to the people of Sierra Leone. But also, again, President Kuma, when I be getting government, during Ebola time, I remember when he talked about Ebola money, where they want Sierra Leone and say Ebola money na blood money. You understand? For many people be careful what they do, that they will be held accountable. I think inside people became government, we don't talk about. But now, the problem here is, I mean, yes, would I say there were corrupt people under the previous APC regime? Of course, people they don't do things the way they need for answer about. Would I also say we still get people that we corrupt under the SFPP government? Of course there are. Where the system they try to protect. Evidence is there. Allegations, we don't get one or two allegations, we don't care, we don't pinpoint to keep people within this government when they say they corrupt. But the point where at the time for say here, when my brother they talk say, make APC people and go na court for go clear the name is right, 100%. I agree with him. But the trouble is, we get a judicial system where nobody not trust. You go only trust that system there when your party is in governance. When your party no longer there in governance, you no longer trust the system. And that's very unfortunate. That's very, very unfortunate. This is not the dilemma we get now in Sierra Leone like today. Then party out of the world, then go accuse you of anything, but you know you will have your fair day in court. Because you believe in the system, say, when you go to court, then they will accuse you, they go for proof beyond reasonable doubt, or say, you, Khadija, or me, others, now this thing I do, here are the evidence, here are the facts, before the court. But unfortunately, not so we system the work in Africa. We system in Africa, they don't find you guilty right from the get-go. The moment the government of the day say, you don't do this, they don't find you guilty straight away. And it is tough. It is tough for make anybody go there, then it thinks it will get a fair trial. That's the unfortunate thing with the Apple now. Because if not to be that, if they're all, including this government with the in power now, if they still get confidence in the judicial system, why on earth people then challenge certain evidence, then bring about certain constitutional clauses we need interpretation? Why don't they assign them file and they make the courts go decide? But we're still holding to them finally. But right now, as we speak, Khadija, my understanding is even the transcript, the court transcript, that will show the proceedings, the challenges, the objections that were raised. during the entire process of the commissions of inquiry, the transcript is not available. That is one reason that one day we make I understand that some of the people that are treated are not able to file for appeal to the Court of Appeals because the transcripts are not even available. So this they tell you about the sort of judicial system we get. Whatever happens to them, they still not able to see the transcript. Commission of Inquiry will spend hundreds of millions pounds. Now they still not able to find transcripts. But however, government documents and with the government they are available. The record for sure what's happened at the court is not available. Then you will tell how the system they operate. So what's the guarantee say the persons of interest are wouldn't go to court, they will get a fair trial. To make them clear their names. We also don't see series of allegations of people that wouldn't go put some report, where the people that did all they come out, they reject these findings. Yesterday, we saw a letter, a strongly worded letter that was issued by Yada Williams, one of the best lawyers our country will ever get, questioning the outcomes of the Nigerian Justice Biobele Godwin and some of in findings. So that's another thing. And then more left on that side with my brother, you come to the audio when the person they talk about parliament, wherein therefore allow parliamentarians to make the vote secret by secret ballot here and there. I understand that, and to be very honest, Khadija, the two institutions we need for making work in Sierra Leone, for make we get them right. One of which is parliament, and then the second one is the judiciary.
Yes.
If then two institutions that they're able for work, they go able to hold government to account. Because if government cross the line, parliament able to call government and ask the tough questions. If government relent on that, then somebody will able to take them to court or ensure say justice be done as it happened at the party of the world.
Yeah.
But unfortunately with parliamentarians, they get a limited choice in the parliament. That is to say, there is this constitutional clause when they normally say 77K. What in that one they mean? Now that you are elected on the ticket of your political party. So inside now clause when you go to parliament, excuse me, when you go to parliament, if you do anything that is contrary to what your party wants to make you do, they will withdraw the whip. What I mean by withdrawing the whip, that is to say that they will drive you from your party. And once they drive you out of your party, you no longer have a seat in parliament. Automatically, you become, they don't dethrone your seat. Put it that way.
So in that case, with that kind of statement, whatever in the case of Salamin, is it because in the case of Salamin of C4C, in political parties still acknowledge recognize them?
Well, again, this is where now that's how they talk about the dishonesty within parliament.
Exactly.
Now, Salamin in party don't say this man will be appointed to the house and say now he will be with leader in the house. Now we don't decide, so we no longer want him to be our party leader. But what in parliament do to Abbas Bundu? They say no, they recognize that one day, even though 77K don't already tell you the powers of the political party. But simply because Salamin they do them biddings in the parliament. So because they do them biddings, they want to be seen to be standing by him. But if they want to show real independence, they would have acknowledged that particular letter and do what the political party asked them to do.
So how do we?
As in the case of the former leader of government business, Honorable C.D. Tunis.
Yeah.
When in party, when at the current government party, when they say they no longer want him to be leader of government business, he questioned the legality of how they want for pull out.
So it's
the leader of the SPP party, Dr. Impersonator. He said he will not even argue with him. If the man wants to continue to be an MP, he better adhere to his demand. Otherwise, he will invoke 77K on him. And once he would have invoked 77K, which means he will no longer be a member of parliament.
Wow.
So he had no choice. because now they're in governance. Waiting party, wanting party will get. So he had to yield.
Wow. So make
This
a
is
bring
we get again, which is why they will never vote. They will never vote against their party, especially when their party is in government.
So I guess that's where the problem comes in place. I
But
guess
the major problem is,
yeah. Okay,
so
we get to
until we get rid of,
1 second,
until
sir.
we get,
Sorry,
okay,
sir.
bye.
Yeah. Now another call coming. Salon for All, Voice for All, Network Television. Kindly identify yourself. Who side the call from, please?
Hello, Khadija. This na Sheikh Sankoila from Winnipeg,
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
Canada.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
I want to tell you thank you and all the previous callers them and the man at the table with you. But first of all, my contribution to Sierra Leonean, actually, Sierra Leonean, they keep quiet who something they start. They not they talk, they not get a day, but when it escalates now, even this thing I get for good cause trouble, they not they talk the truth. Then after the thing don't cause problem, then can now for talk the truth on the last edge now. This will get for left as Sierra Leonean first of all. When this fight of corruption starts, the right away Sierra Leonean for don't start let the right thing happen. Nobody, we all want where somebody eats down money in that country, they were not supposed to let it pay. But if you they come to judgment, you therefore stand on the just, whether now you begin. Me as a Muslim, the Islam say anybody who thief in the cutting hand. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the Prophet, he come deliver this message. Close people them to Ram ask him, that everybody who thief now for cutting hand, he say yes. Wallahu Fatima bint Zahra Sharaka lakata'anna aidiyahina. He said, this God don't reveal. He said, even me begin, me lovely daughter where everybody know Fatima Zahra, na in thief. He said, I go make them cut in hand. That's you get for sure justice. If you don't swear like that one day, and they know if they do that if he thief. That if anybody do that, then cut your hand, you not get for blame. And during the presence of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they not cut nobody in hand, but the law is there. But the way they know say if somebody thief, then they cut. He get the mind for do that. And as he don't swear to him lovely daughter, say if na in thief, he will never let them cut your hand. Once he don't reveal na the Quran, that will get for you. If the Maya come, they want fight corruption, then at the young platform, they get people that they say, well, they can't tell people they will work now the APC. I swear to God, I let you, I get forgive ministerial position. Will they start from you until you've cleaned yourself? If you not get evidence, you not get evidence. But if you evidence stay, let them prove you right, then you punish you like way I get for punish the other people there. That what you then do first, then say, go to parliament, say let them take away rule of evidence in a civilized nation. Or in a people and where they would religion, you know, say judgment. God say either if you the judge between two people, stand on the straight way, even now you papa, now you offend, yeah, in wrong, then you bow for come and forgive, ask for forgiveness, help and forbid. The president now in the fountain of honor. Let it pull everybody out. Then find people that don't want to get the right, the power for pardon everybody if he want to do that. Or he pardon, he not get for pardon some people, he left some people. Then if you do so, anybody who not dance now you June. Now you they not trouble. How you they command somebody for her go in papa, let them go humiliate them. Or everybody know this, everybody don't holler. But people don't get for holler for let that be. Because the thing not come to them, he say, when I pull these people, how you they can holler? Let's be the injustice for say let a rule of evidence not be. Let the person you show what you find out to the person say he corrupt and bring in own documents say are not corrupt. Well, everybody knows say the issue people them for they say APC SLP now injustice. America, how many political party did it? Not to the name, not the people. You can also look to the people. If you compare the APC and the SLPP, these people, they don't overthrow APC, then kill a lot of people. Then come back, they overthrow them, then kill a lot of people. Now, an Eskuruma come, even Valentine Strasser will overthrow APC. And Eskuruma came respect as a former president, including Madabio. Why? What's wrong? When Madabio come, he draw Victor Foden, he draw Matudinji them, he draw all the other people them because them dance now in tune Alpha Kandel. Because of other people they not dance now in tune, now they pursue now the commission of inquiry. Why? Why will not they talk true? Now you want come, you want let an Eskuruma come, go let them humiliate them. If we will not stop this thing, and Eskuruma how many APC people they don't kill in that country? They try for any time the SLP become, they say APC 9 corrupt 9 kill. But an Eskuruma not been for talk to Strasser, but he can't respect because if he don't be a former head of state, including Mother Bill. I don't say if you know one pardon and Eskuruma, I can pardon him for that, but he therefore get the immunity until he finance something like the CID. Now been former vice president.
Thank you so much.
Why you know the treat and different with other people there?
Yeah.
If he says he therefore finance something else.
Thank you.
Can that hope as a man, a statesman, sending CID or anti-corruption, going in your house, interview him, no mean say they pull an the thing. But he just wants to subdue the man to disrespect. If Sierra Leoneans they don't stand for say the truth, go who say is supposed to go. And the man when they come investigate 3 years now they go so you know able build 1 quarter road, then say the road where the an Eskuruma build. Now the dearest road at the world, which is lie. So man, they are not even sure if they know what as a kilometer. And you make kilometer, you get for pay for people houses the way you don't cut. Everybody wants to be lonely for go here. The kind big houses the way they carry under without fight, them pay them people then they all the one they go at the cost. Well, all the subsidy what the man be they give, you take her off. You know able to build 1 kilometer 8, you still they test people for corruption. Is that right?
The lawyers then concerned. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Mr. Adam, you don't already call Mr. Sheikh Yila in your concern and not making you come back again to Usai. They are so sorry for the time. It seemed like something happened with we.
I mean, letting Sheikh Sila they say, of course, he quotes the Holy Quran where we talk about you know what's in the Prophet Muhammad talk about rain and sunnah. I mean that's definitely his own belief, and I will not challenge him in that. But again, he talk about justice within the law. That if you say somebody do this, you get for ensure so you prove them. We don't see that they accuse people. A lot of people don't come out, they challenge the validity of this outcome, the outcome of the commission of inquiry. A lot of people, including lawyers, private individuals here and there. I say, a Sierra Leonean OBC where they say for account for 254 motorcar, instead don't come out 254 motorcar. It doesn't even live in Sierra Leone. Who side the motorcar then go? Everything is there. He handed over documents to them regarding them property. Then now you say this man for account. You go put in it. You understand? He works for the Tony Blair Institute of Governance in the Gambia sector there. You go put somebody like this, you're getting a petition for protect. Now you don't damage your reputation. You come out there are institutions that would then put their names in there. All of this. The report is just all over the place. You find people guilty. Say this office here will belong to 5 people that will be occupy this office. So something will be done happen at this office. You don't able to pinpoint who done at the post road one. You say all 5 of them they can be responsible. I mean, as a judge, you put that case before you. How would you prove it? So you got to end up for convict innocent people as a result of the post road container into an incident quietly. That's not a better outcome. So which is why we will continue to question the outcome of this commission of inquiry. It's a missed opportunity for genuinely fight corruption. But at the level of hate and spite what they put in the whole fight, now it makes the report is all over the place. And it's unfortunate. It's a missed opportunity. Now you talk about, the audio talk about a constitutional, an instrument through them be one for pass under the former Attorney General, Priscilla Swart, we're doing under this coronavirus. What's in it be one for do under the bill government? Now for make it go to parliament, go pass a legislation, way for make procurement rules, therefore bypass current procurement rules. When for procure anything they want for procure, that should not be subjected to any form of auditing and it should not be accounted for. They were almost going to do it. Had it not been, to his credit, for the gentleman who in the head of the procurement office, where some things were read. It was all over on the radio, speaking against it, say there are already rules, we already there in place in case of emergency. Why do you need to bring in another legislation for override the existing one? So these are the kind of lawyers that will get to the advise the states. If not gentleman, they not be know the nature of his job. Instead of just support this, they will go get one kind bad law. Go tomorrow, another person said they can. Instead can override everything. So this is why some of we they say, as much as we want to fight corruption, let us do it within the law. It's to the benefit of everybody. We will all benefit from it. Now you tell me you want to fight corruption, you come in, you declare your assets privately. Why not declare them publicly? Make all man know what you come with. So where you go, people don't go know what you go with. But quietly you went and declared assets. The one can tell which man say that then if you don't declare. What is the evidence? Here commission and no know what you go declare. So all of them things I get to do with transparency. And now you question the predecessor as to the ownership of your property there. When I under the same manner instead be declare you. It's just unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. And also the audio talk about too many people into politics. What you don't do in a salon Khadija and that we don't make politics become so cheap a commodity that people know they decide to do anything productive again. People no longer have their profession on their own. Everybody wants to become a politician. Even when they don't get any substance for going to politics. But yet they still want to become politicians in our country. Because of waiting. Because it is the cheapest means for people to become rich. It is the cheapest means. Now I hear that they talk about the previous government. But I know people the way I've been doing in the UK yesterday who had literally nothing to their name. Now they ain't got property they would not own. That's how cheap politics have become. Everybody wants to go into politics because you get for go thief quick, they go make yourself better. But again, tomorrow you will have to account. Just as how they go after other people on the predecessors for account. And so somebody get for go after on the back for account. So we need to make politics as something way that is worth going into. Let it be about the people that you go into politics to serve and not to enrich yourself. But again, for make we do that one day, we get to make sure say we review the wage structures in the salon. Because in fairness, you don't go give man you go a ministerial position where you get to deal with hundreds of millions of dollars in ministry, they pay 50 million euros per month. You're tempting it to become a thief. That's the truth.
Well stated.
So you review the salary scale, pay the man, enough money where you go able to live and make them understand, say, I get a decent job. But may just go occupy that position. They pay 50 million euros and then it won't pass over almost billion. Where's the rationale in there? There is none. So all of them things there need to come into play if we sincere or make we fight corruption as salon.
Well
But these are the underlying issues that are not being talked about.
Really agree. Well stated. So, because it don't left between you and I now, at the cut and shots, we'll get part 4 in due time. I want to take this opportunity for tell we audience for whatever reason something happened to we I don't know the connection immediately where that man left, and it dropped a lot of things that they see black from me on screen. But I do believe that the audience is still here anyway. So I just want cut and short, and then we'll find another day for finish the entirety. I want to take this opportunity once again for tell the entire audience plenty thank you for when I take time out of in a busy schedule for join with today. I also want to tell the panelists and plenty thank you, Mr. Musa V, we bigger for left way, and then secondly Mr. Adams. Thank you you both for in a time when I take out of in a busy schedule and from family just to make this happen. I don't know if you get any last thing for say before I give me last closing statement. Oh, check your device. The volume there.
There's not much I need to say. I'll get to say is that as Sierra Leoneans, we owe truth to we serve. That where a perceived injustice is being done, regardless of the party where you belong to, you should speak out. Because our continuing silence, you may want to keep silent today, but tomorrow you will become a victim of that particular thing there, where it don't happen to somebody else, where you not speak up. And then you will need other people for make them rally around and speak out for your rights. We owe it to ourselves, regardless of whose side you belong. Let us speak out when we see a perceived injustice. Let us fight corruption within the laws, but not fight corruption out of malice, thinking that say, then why we need for broke the legs. Then why I do not respect we need for go after them top. You could be there today. It is possible by the next election, you will no longer be there. And when you're not there, you will need Sierra Leoneans also for make them come for defend your rights. So while at it, let us be honest to ourselves. I think so. Just that I get to say.
Well stated, sir. Make I acknowledge some of the wonderful folks here, Madam Ibrahim Yassin, United Kingdom. The wonderful Mr. Alfred Sanko. Hello, sir. Great to see you back. Hope say you don't they do much better. Mr. Sanko, now one of we on this platform. We unfortunately be lost in mom. Shashoshi, they do much better now. Thank you for your kind compliments. Madam Christiana, welcome, Madam. Mr. Hassan Mansur, welcome, sir. And many of you now, Madam Jallo, Nabi Jallo, and welcome. So anyhow, now we just now take a quick break and then I come and give a closing statement. And I thank you once again.
injustice they be bringing me. Be back on the back. The fair would I they give me. Time just they go, man then they feel themselves. Them people they suffer. Time just they go, people they suffer. Man then they talk.
Okay. Once again, thank you for joining me today. I did tell the panelists then thank you once again and in the audience. Until next time, this is Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. I see you, Madam Iman Ibrahim. Bye. Everyone knows someone whose job is okay.